Okay, is it working? Am I live? I am. I'm on. Hi, everybody. True Talk Tuesday. Good morning. Okay, so listen. So last time it was an issue with everybody about my nails, and I'm fully aware that my nails were not done. But listen, I'm running a company and raising two children, and I did not have time to make an appointment with Nick up at Picasso Nail Salon. So my cousin told me today that I had to wear socks on my hands because she's very embarrassed. So I'm wearing them. You're welcome. And I also want to let everybody know today I'm drinking water, not a Red Bull. So please don't write me about that. Got it. I don't know how this works, so I hope it's working. And what I don't like is that I can't see anybody popping up, and I don't know if you can write me or not while we're talking about this, but we're talking about competition today. Ooh, competition season. How's everybody doing? Is everybody okay? Has everybody lost their mind yet? Is everybody being nice to one another? Who needs a hug? Okay, so I had a really good friend of mine write a bunch of questions down for me of some things and topics that she was having a problem with, that I think a lot of us are having a problem with. One of the good things about having Changing Lives is I get to go all over the United States, and everybody seems to be having kind of the same issues and same problems. The first thing that I want to say is being role models for these kids. And I have pages and pages of notes, and the fact that I'm going to wear this sock on is just killing me. Being role models for these kids in the competition setting. Please know that they're watching our every move, you guys. They're listening to our conversations. They're watching the eye rolls, the way that we interact with everyone. Studio owners, other teachers, other dancers. Are we watching the things that we're saying when we're watching other dancers on stage? Are we interacting with our other faculty members and watching what comes out of our mouth? Because our dancers are glued to us. So I know it's competitive, you guys. I know it's its own beast. It has turned into its own just extravaganza. Be a role model for these kids. At the end of the day, does it really matter if they win? No, it's not going to determine their future, and it doesn't validate you as a teacher if they don't win. So I think for us, yes, winning's great, but losing's also great too as a life lesson. So I think, one of the things, it's when we're out there, it can be toxic for these kids if we're not teaching them how to do it properly and win and lose properly. And to be honest, I'm old school. I don't believe that everybody should win. I don't believe that everybody should get a triple platinum strawberry glitter sticker plus. I think that what happened to first, second, and third, I'm okay if my kids get an honorable mention, my kids get an honorable mention. And today, society is so different that everybody wins. Everybody gets something. And I'm not down with that. First question that came up was, my hand's sweating, so I have to take it off. How to deal with who works the hardest isn't always the one that wins. Isn't that tough, you guys? Let's be honest, it's reality. And that's one of the things that we have to do with our dancers is, we are teaching life lessons here. And say we have this dancer that is just a little bit of a turd, and she doesn't have to work hard because she's got this beautiful body and these beautiful legs and these gorgeous feet. And she doesn't really have to work for that facility, and she's winning everything. And then you've got this sweet little pumpkin who doesn't have those legs, who doesn't have those feet, who doesn't have that body, and she just works her tail off, and she's losing to this girl all the time. And the parents coming to you, and the parents going, well, we're paying all this money for these private lessons, and we're paying all this money, and obviously you're doing something wrong because we're not winning. That's where we have to be realistic and set people down and just say, listen, it is what it is. It is the real world, and these things are happening. I'm doing the very best with what I've been given. And that's going back and just saying, with these parents, do we have realistic expectations? These judges are only being able to judge on what they see in a 3-minute performance. Maybe that student had a professional famous choreographer come in and do their very best work on what they've been given, and your child has, was born with the legs rotated in and little sickled feet. You're doing whatever you can. I think, it all starts with us going back to the parents at the very beginning and just sitting them down and saying, this is where her strengths lie, this is where her weaknesses lie, and this is what we can expect for this season. I think, a lot of times these parents expect us teachers to be miracle workers, and we're not. We're not. Second question I have is, my cousin said, remind you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can see these things. I don't know how this YouTube thing works. The second question was how to deal with parents when it comes competition season and you're setting their solos and they want a contemporary and they should be doing a tap, or they want to do a jazz and they should be doing a lyrical. Let's be honest. First of all, you don't need to be 6 years old and do a contemporary, because there's nothing that you need to be sad about in telling a story about. They need to have set the tone and boundaries from the very beginning. So that's where we go back to. A lot of times, I feel like we get scared of the parents sometimes, and we have to create some sort of partnership with these parents. I had right here realistic expectations, and we cannot fault them for that. I remember being a very young teacher and not wanting the parents to have anything to do. I wanted the parents out because the dance moms bothered me. I didn't want anything. And then I had children of my own, and they put that baby in my arms, and it was like magic. And I remember thinking to myself, if anybody ever hurts her, I will rip their face off like a spider monkey. And that's what we have to remember. Those parents think that their child is the very, very best. Always keep that in mind. So we need to be a little bit more understanding and talk to them as if that's correct. So when we're talking to them and saying, she can't do a contemporary, or she can't do a triple pirouette, that comes to them and reads as, well, you're saying that she's not good enough. Well, then you don't believe in her as a teacher. Well, I need to go elsewhere. I think that one of the things that I always try to do is talk to them with injury prevention in mind. So explain to them where they're looking at their kid and they're saying, oh, she's doing a triple pirouette. No, she's not. Everybody else can see that she's not. She's spinning around on her heel 3 times, spinny spinnersons. Maybe explain to them, because they don't know. Well, she is, and that's really great. She's going to be a fantastic turner. I love that about her. She's so, so talented. But what the judges are looking at is the height of that releve. And here's what a releve is. And she's not quite completely on top of that releve. Also, what they're looking at is their hip flexors are not engaged. So she's not engaged through her core. So she's sitting back in her pelvis. And if she were to fall, then she could really hurt her lower back. She doesn't have the strength in that ankle. If she were to do this, she could roll that ankle and she could be out of dance, which we do not want for her. That sounds better to a parent than she cannot do this. I think that's a better way to approach it. I think when we are sitting down with them at the beginning of the year, always hear them out and say, what are your goals for her this year? I'm looking at her to have a jazz. I'm looking at her to have a tap. I know she loves contemporary and I know she loves lyrical, but her strength and what we're trying to do is have her showcase what's going to score best for her. And in a 3-minute performance, this is what's going to score best. And I hope that you trust my judgment, because that's what I'm here for. And I think that if we approach parents that way, then we're going to get a better result, because we do not want to make a parent mad at us, because they pay our bills. You also want to tell a parent, you would not, because a lot of times these parents are looking at social media just like the kids are looking at social media. And they don't know any different. So they're looking at the Insta famous kids and they're thinking, well, they have this leg hold and this turn in and all these wonderful tricks. My kid can do that too. I've seen her do it in my dining room every night. And I want that in there. Well, I think that one of the things that you should do is just say, I don't compare your dancer to any other dancer. So I don't think that you should compare your dancer to any other dancer too. So when I'm looking at my students, I'm only working one-on-one with them. And so that's just the way that I train kids. I think if we do that, that's kind of a way to kind of shut that down just a little bit better. Third question, and this is great, you guys. How to unite your staff during competition season when there is so much competitiveness amongst each other. Guys, whoa, everybody slow your roll just a little bit. Aren't we supposed to be working on the same team? That's one of the things, and I've heard this a lot, is say we have, 5, 10, 15 teachers, and a lot of times I've heard different instructors say, well, she's always winning because she gets the better kids. Or I just want to showcase my choreography because I'm trying to be a choreographer, or different things like this. And my first reaction is it cannot be an all about me mentality. We are working as a unit for the studio, for that brand, and your time will shine. I promise you, your time will shine. And it's not about us. It's not about us. It's not about us. It's about these kids. And it's about their experience, and it's about their training. So going into the competitive world, it doesn't really matter whose piece wins and whose piece doesn't, because it might be different in a different competition. And we all know that. You go to one competition and it does really well, or maybe you go to a convention and it does really well there. It just needs to be about the kids. So we need to get together. I had the pleasure of working for an incredible dance studio way back when I began, when I was 18, 19 years old. And one of the great things is that all of our faculty was kind of head of departments. And there was no competition amongst any of us. And what ended up happening is we all were working for the same outcome. And it was, how great could we lift up this brand, this studio, these kids? And so I think we all need to get together as a team and say, what is our goal? What is our goal for this? And I think a lot has to do, and I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but when we have that all is me mentality, it's just a little bit of insecurity and it's a little bit of immaturity as a teacher. So kind of get together. Yeah, I said, don't worry, your work will shine. So we're all on the same page. And when we do that, we're showing these kids that it doesn't matter about your team. If we're wanting these dancers to become a team unit, then we have to show them how to be a team unit. It's almost like parenting and saying, do what I say, not as I do. That's what we're doing too, as teachers, as studio owners, as mentors, as role models. We can tell them all we want, but if we're not showcasing that and we're not showing and we're not living that and we're not acting that, then what we're saying to them is almost a lie. Does that make sense? This is a huge question, you guys, and I'm so passionate about this. It says, how do I explain to my dancers that it's just 4 judges' opinions and it doesn't validate if they are a good dancer? It's the truth of competition. So again, it's how do you explain what competition is for your kids, for your dancers, for your studio? Are you going in just to win? It's great. If that's your goal, that's great. And I'm not going to fault you for it. But for me, my dancers were not allowed to keep their trophies because I explained it to them as those 4 people are not your dance mom. They are not your trainer. They are not your coach. They don't love you in and out every day and have not watched you learn a pivot turn. They did not know when you couldn't pick up the right leg onto your pirouette. I will tell you if you're doing a great job. And sometimes you might be rewarded at a competition, and somebody might have thought that you were fantastic, but as your dance mom, I don't think it was your best performance. So I think for me, the way that I always used to approach it was to tell them, come here, listen, gang. We would pray before we went on, and I would say, listen, we're not here to compete. We're here to show everybody what real dancers look like. That's what we're here to do. We're the halftime entertainment. We're here to perform. We're here to applaud every other dancer that's here. We are part of, we're all here for the same reasons, because we love dance. This is, one of the thing about competitions is it's the only opportunity that we have for these dancers to learn choreography, perfect choreography, get in front of a stage and perform it. And sometimes we don't really look at it like that. We look at it, it's turned into the end all be all, where it's this studio against this studio against this studio. And it turns really toxic. It's kind of the wrong idea for me. And again, please don't send me mean emails about that. That's just how I feel. I think that competition is very healthy, and I think it can be really great. And it was really great for my kiddos. But I think if we approach it the right way as teachers. I had one of the gentlemen that works for me who came from New York and is a lovely, lovely man. And he was outside of the competition world. He had never been a part of it. And he went to see a convention competition. And I said, what do you think? He said that he was blown away by the talent, obviously, because these kids are better dancers than I ever was. And he said, and I was a little disappointed at how cutthroat it was, and to see the segregation amongst the little artists, and how the studio teachers would come together and say hi to each other, but the second that they would walk away, they would have something negative to say. And the kids would see that. And he said, I thought it was such a shame. And I said, welcome to the dance world. And I think that, I'm on this mission to change the dance world just a little bit, and to bring it back old school, and to bring it back to what dance is really about. And I wish that maybe we could all change our mindset a little bit, and sometimes forget that we're all really competing against each other, because we are trying to make a living with our studios and with our own dancers and with that, and just appreciate what we all have to bring to the table. We all just want to teach kids. We all just want to teach dance, and we all really believe in what we're doing. And how hard is it to just appreciate that someone else is trying to do the same thing? I wish that we could do that. And it's 4 judges' opinions. And, here we go with my honesty. I've sat next to many judges that have said to me, I didn't watch that at all. What are you going to score it? I've sat next to a judge that said, I was told to just copy your score, but add 4 points. I've sat next to judges that said, I don't want to be here at all. So that bothers me, because I've been a studio owner. I've been a company director. I've been a mom that has to pay for things. I've been a kid competing. I've been all these things. So that bothers me when I know how much money that you spend, and how much time it takes to polish those routines, and how much pressure you get from the parents, and how many things go into what you put on that stage. Even the time it takes to fill out the paperwork, you guys. So that's why I'm telling you to explain, and for you to understand that it is 3 people's opinions. And it is maybe 4 people's opinions. And at the end of the day, know that you're doing the right thing for your kids. And if you win, awesome. If you lose, who cares? Who cares? Are you giving great training? And I wish, not for so many of my friends that own conventions and competitions that are just doing the most spectacular things in the world. I love that. But part of me wishes that we could do away with it for 1 year And would that change the way that we're training? Would we breathe a little easier? Would we not care about certain things? Would we train our kids harder? Would our parents relax a little bit more? Would our kids relax a little more? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I wanted to finish this off because I never want to keep you more than 20 minutes. And just go back to just say, remember to be nice and be kind. And I think that we're all on the right path. If my last, going into one of the things Changing Lives does is we go in and we do competition critiques for studios. And I was always known as the low judge. Wah, wah. I'm the one that the score got thrown away. Is less is more. So instead of taking 25 routines, take 5 routines. Take 10 quality routines that are polished and clean, and you can see the story, and don't worry so much about the costumes, and don't worry so much about how many things that you can do because you feel the pressure for your parents to have. They want to be in all these different numbers and all these different things, when, to be honest with you, it's 25 pieces that are contemporary that are in 17 different categories. You know what I mean? So less is more, quality versus quantity. Love on those kids. Know that you're doing the right thing. Let's all join forces and just make this a healthy environment for kids, because dance is the best thing. Dance is the best sport in the whole wide world. I think that. I know that you think that. And teachers, give yourself a break. I know competition is stressful, but just take it for what it's worth and enjoy it. Enjoy every second, because these kids love it. It's such a memorable experience for them. So let's make it a good one. Okay? Have a great Tuesday, everybody. Don't forget, I'm drinking water, not Red Bull. Have a great day, guys.